So it's a Friday. It's a beautiful Friday. A little bit windy.
It's good.
My hair. I got a little bit of a cross breeze when I came around the corner, because, like I said before, my hair is only guaranteed for 22 miles per hour.
Okay.
And I noticed the back fluffed up a little bit.
What did you do? Hide under the bed last night during the storms?
Wow, did it get windy?
Yeah.
Wow. My poor pool, every leaf, flowers that were spent all blew in the pool. There's some branches in the pool. I know what I'll be doing this afternoon, trying to get that area cleaned up. But you know something? We got some rain. We need the rain, and that's a godsend. You're out on the island. You're on Plum Island and right along the beach. How was the weather there?
The tornado watch last night.
Oh.
There was a tornado watch, yeah.
It
was about 20 minutes of a good severe thunderstorm, but that was about it.
Yeah, and that didn't last very long. No. Hey, Louis, I have someone coming on with us, and he's on with us right now. I know you two guys are going to hit it off very, very well.
We're all going to hit it off.
His name is Lance Lorusso. And with that last name, I would think that he's part Italian. Lance, not so much, but Lorusso, he's got to be part Italian. I know he does. He's an attorney. He's an author. He's a law enforcement advocate. He's been in law enforcement for quite a few years. Great author. He's got some great books out there. That's why I asked him to come on, because he's got some terrific stories.
Nice.
And we're going to say good morning to Lance right now. You're in Georgia. Beautiful Georgia.
Down in Georgia, and we've got some of the rain too. Although you started out bad, my hair is guaranteed for about 150 miles an hour. Mine didn't go gray; it went missing. So thanks for pointing that out. And I spent hours on it for the studio. You know,
I'm closer to you than Mike went, so we're compatriots here.
Mike is enough for both of us.
Georgia's beautiful. I like Georgia. Jekyll Island. Oh man, I'll tell you. That's a must for me. When I'm on Route 95, at least 1 or 2 nights I want to stop there. I just love everything about it. Looking for the sand dollars, and it's just, I don't know if you ever been there, Louis, but
Jekyll Island, no.
Jekyll Island,
Georgia. My office I'm in right now is about 2 miles from Jekyll Island. Nice. We have a coastal office here. I have a main office in Atlanta and one in Columbus, Georgia, but I'm literally 2 miles from Jekyll Island right now, St. Simon's Island. It's absolutely beautiful. A lot of history down here too.
A lot of history. 3/4 of the wealth at one time was located on that island during the war. Wow. They evacuated. They asked everybody to leave.
Oh wow!
And some of the old mansions are still there. I mean, they're just beautiful. I love the way you drive onto the island. They charge you X amount of dollars, but they put flowers everywhere. Right, Lance? I mean, no matter where you look,
it's beautiful.
It's eye candy.
Wait a second.
Have you been down here during the holidays?
By the holidays, usually we'd go down there like 2 weeks before Christmas.
All right. With Christmas, you need to bring Louis down around Christmas, because Jekyll Island, the Jekyll Island Club, lights up every one of the live oak trees, and it is absolutely spectacular to see.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Is that yours, Mikey? Tell us more today. Jekyll Island?
No.
Different subject? Okay.
No, you know what the Mikey said now you know segment's going to be?
What is it?
Taps.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I just want to, there's words written for the song Taps.
See, Mike gives us 20 minutes on something so minor that it's just fun.
We have a segment called Mikey, Tell Us More.
and he tells us more.
And I tell you maybe too much. I don't know. Hey, listen, tell us a little bit about yourself, Lance.
So I started in law enforcement in 1987. I've been continually working in that ever since then. So went to law school and graduate school at night. So I went to law school at night while I was working full-time as a cop, finished in 1999. And for those that are thinking about doing that, quit, go full-time. I managed to graduate with the same wife, which is more than I can say for most of my classmates. It took me 4 years to get through, which is kind of fun. Law school is normally 3 years. So when I meet a new lawyer on the other side of a case, I like to tell them it took me 4 years to get through. So they don't expect much. So graduated. prosecuted for a short period of time, but it was not as much fun as chasing bad guys over fences. And then went into private practice. So we have two sides to our practice. I'm licensed in Georgia, Tennessee, Arkansas, and Montana. And we handle catastrophic personal injury cases, tractor trailer wrecks. Unfortunately, a lot of our law enforcement clients, they drive about 50,000 miles a year. The average person drives about 12. And then the other side is devoted to most of what we're going to talk about today, which is representing our heroes, our public safety heroes, police, fire, EMS. I've represented 191 officers in shootings, and my firm is well over 360. Some very high-profile cases that you've seen. I have cases in Michigan, Alabama, Georgia, Arkansas, Tennessee. We just stand up for heroes. We represent heroes. I got the best job in the world.
Wait a second. How did you get the Montana license? Was that free with the other three? What happened?
First of all, we have cases in Montana. They're great folks out there. I love the area, and just got admitted out there so I could give some help to some of the law enforcement officers out there.
Nice. Very nice.
Hey, listen, Lance, you've appeared on ABC. You've been on Fox News, CBS, CNN, BBC, and other media outlets. One of them was the Russian show. What was that? Please explain that to me. What kind of an interview did you do on the Russian studio?
Well, I assure you I did in English. I'm almost fluent in English, but my Russian's extremely rusty. First of all, I have a face for radio, so it was kind of surprising I've been on that many places. But Radio Russia is actually pretty fascinating. Radio Russia wanted to interview me during the Trayvon Martin case down in Florida. All right. And the interviewer came on. Sometimes you've been in this industry a long time, both of y'all have. Sometimes you get a few leads. Sometimes you get, hey, we might talk about this or that. They wanted to talk about the constitutionality of the case. And I said, okay, I thought they were going to talk about, the right to self-defense and all the other issues that were prime in the case. They wanted to know why, at the time, President Obama just didn't declare the defendant guilty and move on with the case. It's very interesting. So I got to have a very good discussion with someone about our awesome United States Constitution and our presumption of innocence and how trials work. It was fascinating, but that's really what the Radio Russia interview was about. It kind of threw me off a little bit, but it was a great opportunity.
So you introduced them to due process, right?
Yeah, that whole it was in all the papers, and sometimes people forget about due process, but everybody's entitled to it.
What's the National Fraternal Order of Police?
The National Fraternal Order of Police it's actually an international organization, but the National Fraternal Order of Police is several 100,000 officers from around the world. I think they're close to 400,000 in the United States. It is a fraternal organization that does everything from advocate for officers to support them. And there's another side of the law enforcement that the public doesn't see. And it's kind of, I equate it to our scriptures, Isaiah 6:8, send me. So when you have a devastation, like, just give you an example, like Katrina. We all heard about the devastation of Katrina and all the terrible things that happened down in New Orleans and on the Gulf Coast. But there were law enforcement officers who went to work every day. Those officers had to take care of other families while their own families were fending for themselves. So the Fraternal Order of Police will go down and support those folks. They have a dart trailer. They take donations. And it's everything from cooking a meal so those folks can actually have a chance to eat to helping rebuild their lives, because they're putting their lives at risk for strangers. The Fraternal Order of Police, it's an amazing organization. A lot of us forget that a police officer has a family and responsibility just like us. And when he has to leave his family to go take, like you just said, to take care of other families, that has got to be one of the hardest decisions to make. And you got to really have an understanding wife. I mean, that's important, because she'll say, how about us? I have no power. I have no water. Those are the things you don't realize. It's like a doctor. A doctor has the same problems that you and I have, but you want it all to be all about you.
you know, as a patient. So you have to put yourself in a situation sometimes. You know, this cop is a human being. He's got responsibility. He's got pressure. He's got everything else on his shoulders, just like us. So, I mean,
I'll tell you
it's
another
something
example.
that we overlook very, very easily.
Yeah, and it's easy to forget that, you know, there's a lot of husbands and wives who are both in law enforcement. And I'll give you an example of that sacrifice you talk about. Now, this sounds a long Hurricane Andrew. Now, this is like ancient history for some people. I remember talking to somebody who was down there, and an officer showed up for roll call, and they had a uniform that was dirty, and it had tire marks on it and mud on it. And her supervisor asked her, "What, you know, are you okay?" Thinking, "Hey, thank you for being here. Are you okay?" And she was apologizing for the condition of her uniform. Her house had blown away, and she walked around her neighborhood finding pieces of her uniform to put on so she could go to work to protect people. You saw that in Hurricane Sandy up where you are. I mean, they're amazing people, and it's an honor to represent them every day.
No, you know something. I'm glad they have an advocate like you. I mean, to be there to give them something, because they're an open target. You know, with cell phones today, Lou, somebody takes a cell phone video, but it's portioned. You don't know what led up to what caused that officer to do what he's doing, supposedly. And you don't know the whole story. How would you like to be spit on? You wouldn't.
No.
Would you retaliate? I know you would. But with these videos, all you see is the smallest little segment of the true story. And all they're interested in is seeing the cop go after a particular person and try to knock it off. You're so vulnerable. A police officer is so vulnerable. It's unbelievable.
Lance, let me ask you, because it's foremost on everybody's mind right now. It was certainly in the last 6 months. Do you consider DEI, and I'm not DEI, the feds and immigration enforcement, ICE, are they part of the law enforcement community as far as you're?
Absolutely. The federal officers, you know, are taking a huge hit. And it's, you know, everybody thinks about the ICE officers and they're performing a job. And as I tell people, if you don't like what they're doing, then change the law. It's just that simple. You know, we've seen this campaign that we don't want officers stopping people for tag lights being out and expired registrations. And that's a policy decision you can make, but don't blame the officers for following the law. And then I also follow up that if you did that 20 years ago, Timothy McVeigh and this guy named Ted Bundy would still be at large. So knock yourself out. But, you know, the issue with ICE, and I was just doing an interview about this the other day, we're seeing something unique coming from those cases. We're seeing people, there's nothing peaceful about swarming around an officer when they're trying to make an arrest. And they actually are getting within hand's distance and shoving the officers while they're trying to make an arrest. You may disagree with the arrest, but that's for someone to bring up in court. These are incredibly dangerous scenarios they're getting together. And I'm calling it swarming because that's what they're doing. The officers don't know if the person approaching them is a protester who has gotten their, their blood pressure up too much and they're out of control, or if they're trying to stick a knife in their back. So, you know, we've seen throughout history examples of peaceful protests that were hijacked for bad purposes. We saw 5 police officers in Dallas shot and killed. A lot of people forget they were providing security for an anti-law enforcement rally. And then we saw the horror that happened with a group of people gathered and 2 evil folks decided to plant a bomb at the Boston Marathon. So law enforcement is constantly looking not only at the person in front of them, at the entire crowd. And you know, it's an interesting concept when people, we now have a new thing in the vernacular, Mike. This is interesting. Now we have a mostly peaceful protest. And in 2020, there were buildings burning. They said it's a mostly peaceful protest. That's like Billy Crystal and the Princess Bride saying you're mostly dead. I don't understand what that is. It's either peaceful or you're breaking the law. And if you're breaking the law, you risk being held accountable and going to jail.
Now, Lance, could you tell us about your latest book?
Sure. So I've got a couple of books that I've written, about 12. And one of the books that is kind of apropos to what we're talking about now. And look at this. I just happen to have a prop.
Oh,
Imagine that.
that
So this
on
book
cue,
is called,
on cue.
yeah, this book is called Blue News, and it's about the intersection of law enforcement and media. And the books are available at bluelinelawyer.com. This is a nonfiction book. All the nonfiction book profits go to law enforcement charities. So to date, we've donated about $40,000 or more to law enforcement charities.
Wow.
And this is the book that started it all. When Cops Kill. And this is a book to really explain what happens in officer involved shootings and investigations. Because, we all love the TV shows, and an officer gets into a shooting on a TV show. We go to a commercial break, they come back and they're back at work. We don't talk about the psychological effect on the officer. We don't talk about the second guessing of what they went through, the trials, the grand juries, the administrative investigation. And it really gives people a skewed sense of what really happens. I wrote another book called Firefighters in the Hot Seat, which is about firefighters and internal investigations, and I'll get one of those to show you. But we're very honored to have a lot of good sales in these, and of course they're not only available at bluelinelawyer.com, they're also available on Amazon, because Amazon has everything.
Yeah, they have everything and more. I put an order in a couple of days ago. I put it in. It was like 10:30 at night. I placed an order for a couple of things that I needed.
Yeah.
4:30 in the morning the next day, I had it behind my door. Wow. It's unbelievable. I can't
right,
even.
Let's do a challenge. Let's do a challenge. Somebody listening to your show right now, order Blue News and see if they can get it delivered before noon.
I like it. I like it. I like it. Your books. I know you write fictional and nonfiction. What's easier for Lance Lorusso to write?
Oh, wow. Great question. When I get into the nonfiction mode, I'm trying to solve a problem. So like Firefighters in the Hot Seat was, if you're going to run into a burning building and you're going to put your life at risk for people, the last thing you should have to worry about is somebody asking you questions about whether or not you showed up 5 minutes late to work. Let's put things in perspective. Let's realize that we need to respect the job people are doing. So those are pretty mission driven. I can get those going pretty quickly. The the fiction books, quite frankly, those are that's my escape. As you said, I'm Italian. I am Italian. And I can forget to eat when I'm writing a book. I can literally write for 5 or 6 hours and start getting a little peaked, look up and go, okay, that's my Zen. I've got 3 things, fortunately, that let me just kind of escape from the craziness. And if you have, I know you have firefighters and law enforcement listening, you have got to stick to something that lets you get out of your own head and escape the tragedies and horrors that we see. And I'm fortunate. I drive a car around a track. I shoot long distances, and writing books. I'm fortunate that I have 3 ways to get out of it.
Let me ask you, the blue wave, and I'm putting a blue in quotes, the blue wave against police has been going on for, 2008 and beyond there, from defunding police to the ICE resistance and things like that. You must see it how it extends into the courts as well, because courts no longer are impartial areas of judgment. They are often on one side of the political fence or the other and rule that way. Are you running into more resistance that way?
It can be pretty scary. I'll tell you, the defund the police movement was the fastest conceived, implemented, and failed social policy in United States history. So yay them. We all knew it was going to fail. The law enforcement officers were saying all you're going to do is pull resources against people who, need it. I can remember as a cop sitting near the bus stop of a really, really bad apartment complex, the place that cops won't go into without a backup officer. And I would sit there, and people literally accused me of taking advantage and getting people going to work who didn't have tags on their car, didn't have insurance. What I was doing was making sure that the kids waiting for the elementary school bus didn't have people harass them, trying to get them to join gangs and try to sell them dope while they were waiting on a bus stop.
Yeah.
So, when you take those resources away, they're not leaving the metal detectors in front of the city hall that the city commissioners like to hide behind. they're taking it away from the people who really need it.
Yeah, no question about that. It's a again, I'm going to get back to being a patrolman and the pressure that's put on them because they're scrutinized constantly.
Yep.
I mean, people are watching them. They're looking for something. They're looking to create a problem. They want to sue the city. They want to sue the police department. It's tough. Yet, when someone's in trouble, who do they call? They call the police. And yet, today, when I grew up in the 50s, we had a lot of respect for the cops. You know, we had like a neighborhood. You had neighborhood cops, which doesn't exist anymore. But the officer, it was always Mr. You respected him. You know, he'd come around to the schools. There was a considerable amount of respect and well-deserved. And they were great. They were great at the schools and helping out. And, you know, today, I don't think I'd have the constitution to be an officer, not to put up with the BS that goes on today. I just couldn't do it. I tip my hat. I told you, I recently had a member of my family just retire from the police department. And you know something, I'm glad he did, because the pressure it puts on the family, especially if you have young children, you got young girls, and you're hearing the ridicule and the accusation, that the problems that come up that they're just trying to create. It rubs off, and the girls have got to hear it at school say,
yep,
that's tough. That's tough. It's not right. It's not right.
No, and it's not right. And I'll tell you the other side of it, and we can get into the politics and the policies and the court system.
I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break, and then we come back, my friend. We got a couple of stories we're going to hear, and we're going to get your train of thought that you were just going to go through. All right. So why don't you take us out?
Of You, Me, and Sicily. I want to talk to you about Tommy Amin and the great staff at Butcher Boy Market. Families, foodies, and home chefs come together at Butcher Boy to talk good food and create traditions. They offer the best in quality cuts of beef, pork, lamb, poultry, and restaurant-style steaks and chops. Produce, all of their produce is hand-selected to complement any meal or even to make it your main course. Their deli serves fresh roast beef, turkey, and beautiful imported Italian cold cuts, cheeses, and antipasto. And don't forget the Butcher Boy Bakery, featuring sweet delectables from all over the state, as well as their very own bakery. That's Butcher Boy, where the secret to a great steak is, of course, the steak. Located at 1077 Osgood Street in North Andover, Massachusetts, in the Butcher Boy Plaza. Ciao!
Legacy Care Law Firm provides estate planning and elder law services to people in the greater Merrimack Valley and southern New Hampshire areas, with offices in North Andover and Woburn, Massachusetts, as well as Nashua and Salem, New Hampshire. Discussing family and financial matters with an attorney can be intimidating, but our goal is to help you prepare for the future as you preserve your legacy. We help clients qualify for government medical benefits and ensure their estates are preserved for their families so they don't need to worry about their estate being wiped out by high nursing home expenses. Legacy Care Law Firm attorneys are here to support your journey toward a more secure financial future.
This is Tom Zappala. Located in the heart of downtown Haverhill, the Haverhill Beef Company is a full-service, old-fashioned butcher shop and meat market that continues to be a valued family tradition since 1952. Peter and Monica Carboni's Haverhill Beef offers individualized service from an outstanding selection of marinated sirloin tips, homemade sausage, marinated chicken, and thick, juicy Chairman Reserve steaks. Your family deserves the best, so call Peter at 978-374-4795 or visit their website at www.haverhillbeef.com.
At Catadella Funeral Home, we reinvest in our business to provide your family with the best facilities. It begins with a beautifully landscaped exterior, parking for 250 vehicles, and a comfortable and inviting access to our renovated interior. Funerals can be costly, so you should review and compare plans to make sure you receive services that are fairly priced. I invite you to experience the Catadella difference in cost, facility, and service.
Catadella's honoring and celebrating the lives of the people we loved, providing exceptional care since 1929.
Italian artisan cuisine combines simple, fresh ingredients with time-honored preparation to create an incredible culinary experience. At Tuscan Kitchen, located in Salem's historic Depot District, talented chefs prepare everything in-house from scratch for all to see. Guests enjoy their meal literally in our kitchen as food is prepared right in front of you. Wood ovens burn from morning till night, roasting vegetables, baking bread, and firing delightful thin crust pizzas. Prime steaks are seared on a wood grill. A rotisserie slowly roasts marinated whole chickens and lamb, while a pasta maker creates fresh fettuccine. More than just artisan cuisine, Tuscan Kitchen features the wine bar, live entertainment, weekly wine tastings, and elegant private dining and event space. Call 603-952-4875 or visit TuscanKitchen.com to make a reservation and learn more about the culinary adventure that awaits. In Italy, cooking is an art form. Tuscan Kitchen. Experience artisan Italian.
Play more, earn more, win more at Encore Boston Harbor. Sign up for Win Rewards today and score $50 in free play instantly. Score even more as you play your favorite games. New members will also receive $25 in free play for every 100 tier credits earned playing with your new Win Rewards card. Highly rewarding instantly. Visit EncoreBostonHarbor.com for more information. New members only. Further terms and conditions apply. If your loved one is experiencing problems with gambling and needs support, call 833-2750. Or visit gamblinghelplinema.org to speak with a trained specialist. Specialists are available 24/7 and services are free, confidential, and available in multiple languages.
This is Cindy.
And Mike Kunstler,
owners and operators of Four Oaks Country Club and Grazie Italian Restaurant in Drake, Massachusetts.
Grazie Italian Restaurant is the hidden gem of the Merrimack Valley.
Why is that?
We have an incredible chef, Oscar Figueroa.
In the words of local famous chef and restaurant owner Lydia Shire,
Oscar thrives on hard work.
He is capable and gifted.
No one makes better food. Scallops, seared to perfection.
House-made ravioli with farm-fresh local corn.
And buttery, tender, lazy man's lobster, just to name a few.
You have to come experience Grazie Italian Restaurant for yourself.
Grazie Italian Restaurant, located at Four Oaks Country Club, 80 Meadow Creek Drive in Drake, Massachusetts. Hope to see you soon.
Lance Lorusso is on board with us. Author, lawyer, police officer, you name it, this guy has done it. It's unbelievable. Question for you, Lance. In your first book, Hunting of Men, you created a character by the name of Johnny Till. Did your friends think that you were writing about yourself? That this? Oh, you just happened to have the book.
Just happened to have it for just such an occasion. No, they knew Johnny Till's much better looking than me, so they knew it definitely wasn't me.
No, I mean, as far as experiences and what.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I did. I basically looked at a conglomeration of real cops, and what I wanted to do was tell the real cop story. So the women in that book are incredibly powerful and strong because that's what law enforcement women are like. I tell people, if you want to read the story about the alcoholic homicide detective with 7 ex-wives who beats everybody up, go read somebody else's book. I represented a SWAT commander one time. He showed up to a hearing. He had his badge on his left side, his entire right side from his shoulder blade down to the middle of his chest was filled with medals of valor, medal of honor. And he was an introvert. He would go to work. He'd come home. He'd spend some time with his kids. When his kids went to sleep, all he did was read until he fell asleep. That's the story I wanted to tell. Cops are introverts. They're extroverts. They're funny. They're little league coaches. They're chess coaches. They're just part of society. So that's the story I wanted to tell. And Hunting of Men has gotten some great reviews.
Oh, I'm sure. Hey, you know what our listeners would like to hear, if you don't mind? How about let's discussing what just recently took place in New York City? You mind doing that?
Oh, sure. I'm happy to. It's crazy. So New York City decided to appoint a commissioner over corrections who is a convicted felon. Now, on the surface, the smart
may I add something to that?
Sure.
a felon that's going to get paid, Louis, you ready? $243,000.
Holy cow.
243, over $250,000.
Wow.
Lance, please continue, sir.
You know, and this is a trend that we've seen. We've seen people talking about, well, we need another perspective. We've seen felons put on police review boards. That happened out in Salem, Oregon. And now we're trying to put a person who is a convicted murderer on a police review board. Now we've got this guy in New York City. Saying that we need their perspective, and to all the law enforcement officers, we don't need their perspective. We were able to investigate your crime and arrest you and prosecute you successfully without your help. So clearly we didn't need you. But this is part of an anti-cop movement, an anti-cop notion that you really don't know how to do your jobs better. And from the couch in my house, while I'm sitting there eating my Cheetos, watching how you're getting, beaten up and swarmed and all this stuff happening to you, I'm going to appoint somebody to tell you how to do your job.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And how much of a slap in the face would an appointment like that be to the 33,000 plus New York officers, to the 19,000 civilians that work for the police department? I mean, you talk about it doesn't make sense to me. I don't quite grasp it. And I know there's been a lot of talk about it. People are very upset about it. But, hey, I don't get it. I don't know what. I think everybody needs a second chance, but I think you got to be careful of the people that being affected here. And it's every police officer and every person that deals with the police department in New York City.
Well, and it's even more deep-seated than that. So it's not just the fact that they're putting somebody up there and saying, we're going to tell you how you do your job. This is, and I talk about this in Blue News, if you don't tell your own story, somebody else will. So what this is, I believe, can be equated to governance by soundbite. We want to get elected by having a couple little sound bites that will be repeated all over the place. And I told you I'm not going to mention this person's name because I'm not going to give him any juice. But here's what's interesting. How many people have discussed this policy? So aside from the New York City Police Department, we hear about and we see the assaults on law enforcement officers on the street every day. The assaults that happen to corrections officers are exponentially higher. So it's more of a slap in the face to the individuals who are actually having to deal with folks who have been removed from society because they have demonstrated their unwillingness to live in society, their willingness to prey on the weakness of other people. And then we put them there waiting trials or after their sentence. And we're going to tell the corrections officers that have to secure them, you don't really know how do your job. We're going to take somebody who was one of them, who was arrested and convicted, and we're going to tell them that you're not doing it right.
It's common sense. That's what we're lacking. No matter what you do in life, I don't care what kind of an education you have, what kind of a job, 99.9% is common sense. And to me, I look at this and I just have a hard time grasping it. And I'm glad that you brought it up.
Common sense depends on intent, and intent is misled often. What's common sense for one intent is not common sense for the other intent.
Something. There's two sides. I get that. But geez, I just could not believe. I don't know. It bothers me. You had another story in Oregon. You wanted to tell us about that?
And let me kind of point to the heart of that. When you say common sense, I absolutely think you're right, but that's why this is generating so much. You have to start with a premise that the individuals making these decisions are not stupid, they're smart. They are doing it for a calculated reason. They are thinking 3 and 4 steps ahead. In Oregon, Salem, Oregon, now he's been removed, but there was a man who committed a murder. I'm going to let that sink. No, we don't like dead air, but I want you to think about that. This is not a guy who shot a burglar in self-defense and there was a dispute about it. He premeditated murdered somebody because she would not hide stolen items from the police on his behalf. He served a sentence. His sentence was not done. His sentence was commuted by the governor, and then he was placed on a police oversight commission. And it took a great deal of uproar to get him off doing his renewal process. This is absolute lunacy, but you have to realize this is aimed at degrading law enforcement and saying they really don't know how to do their jobs.
Because there are political gains in degrading law enforcement.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But you talk
And
about
money to be raised.
And money to be raised.
Yeah, that too. You talk about the foxes watching the chickens. This is a perfect example of it. I mean, Jesus, Mary and Joseph, that's awful. It really is.
And Portland is ground zero for this, isn't it? I mean,
it is, you know, and I've been involved in cases in that area of the country. It's just a different world. And you know, we were talking about something when we went to break, and you talked about the slap in the face to officers. The average person, the research shows the average person will experience 3 to 4 events in their life that will cause them to have post-traumatic stress, not disorder, but a dampening of their entire world, a very, very profound effect. The loss of a spouse, the loss of a child, a house burning down, all of those horrific things. The average law enforcement or public safety officer witnesses 700 in the course of a career. 700.
Wow.
So it's not just, wow, you know, it's going to upset them. It really takes a toll. And those, you know, there are still things I wish I could unsee from when I was a 23 and 24-year-old police officer, and I'm considerably past that. I just used to look youthful. But I can tell you, officers are seeing things every day and responding to scenarios and horrific circumstances every day. And, you know, they deserve our respect. And I tell people, you know, they say, what can we do for them? Thank them when you see them in uniform. Just thank them for being there. 2, go advocate on their behalf, because they can't go to the city council meetings. They can't scream and holler on the school steps. They can't go to write an op-ed in the local paper. Advocate for them. And number 3, find the best and brightest in your community, the people you know are good folks, and help recruit them for your local department.
Well, you brought me to my next question, because what's your answer when you're asked, why would I ever become a law enforcement officer? Because they're the scourge of society right now.
It's in your heart. And, you know, I see young officers. I'm actually encouraged with all the crazy stuff we see. I see young officers every day signing up to be part of law enforcement, and it encourages me a great deal. And we were talking about one of the books that I definitely want to talk about, Peacemaking. It's about a cop's walk with Christ. And people ask me if it's a fiction book. I said, well, it depends on your belief system. But there are far more prayers said in the front seats of police cars than the back. But there's a bunch of movies and books written about how people found Christ after they committed a crime. Those law enforcement officers that move forward, that do this job every day, if they don't have religion on their side, then they're just tougher than me.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Louis, I mean, I don't know. I live in a small community, and the pressure is a lot less than, say, in the city like, say, Lawrence, you know, and they're so involved in everything that goes on in the town. Here, if you're a police officer like in the city of Lawrence, you really are not up front. You don't get involved in too many things. You might be a coach for a little league, maybe.
Yeah.
It's just they take a step back because they don't want to be in the limelight.
Right.
Hoping that, you know, thank God I'm not going to do something wrong that's going to get picked up, or somebody perceives it to be wrong. That's the problem. That's the problem I see. I don't get it. Your books. You have any ticklers out there? Like maybe one of the books could be turned into a movie.
Oh. You know, people have talked.
You'd be the star. You'd be the lead. Okay.
Of course.
Oh,
of course I would. You know, I just passed my own screen test. I mean, look at that. I would tell you that some people have told me about Hunting of Men. You know, and I have a review up, and people can see it. Probably the biggest compliment I ever had was a 40-year retired law enforcement officer. He was actually shot in the line of duty. He was a detective. He told me that Hunting of Men is the most realistic crime book he's ever read.
Really?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Wow. Talk about a testimonial.
We don't pull punches. You know, I want people to understand the toll this takes on officers, and we're not going to fictionalize it. You know, these cases are raw. They affect them. They stay up at night. It affects the way that they see the world. And I'm very proud of Hunting of Men. There's several sequels that are not out yet. Those will be. And then in September, I'm having a book come out called Serve Others, Live Without Fear. That's a motivational memoir. And
I love the
kind
title.
of philosophies about what drives me, because people have asked, but also what drives, you know, public safety. Why do they do the things they do? How do they get through all of these trials? So it's Serve Others, Live Without Fear, and there'll be more out on our social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and all the other outlets.
I can't think of two more full-time jobs than an attorney or an author. So how in God's name do you do both?
I love it. One is an escape. You know, the writing is just lets me get out of my head a little bit and think. You know, I have some very heavy cases. I have some cases with law enforcement officers charged with murder. I have a case with an officer right now in federal court. He shot someone who was shooting at him and was charged with murder. That shooting took place August 5th of 2016, and we are still litigating it. So, you know, I need my downtime so I can prepare. And just like the officers that we talk about, where they're stopping cars, they're answering calls, the firefighters running into buildings, they have to have those outlets. I need mine too. And I have a great team of 8 lawyers at my firm. And we also just started something called the Blue Line Lawyer League, where we're getting like-minded attorneys and running training classes. If there are lawyers that are looking at standing up for heroes and knowing when you go to sleep every day that you stood up for justice just like they do on the street, then we have a place for you, and we are going to make this nationwide.
Let me reiterate the question I tried to ask you earlier. Do you find that courts are falling on one side of this line or the other? Because I imagine protecting a police officer in Boston is completely different than Montana, for example.
Definitely the accents. I will definitely tell you.
Yeah,
I will say that over and above, except for some very, very small circumstances, we've seen the courts playing it straight. You may see a judge here or there that doesn't follow the law, but I'm a litigator. So as we say, that's why God made appellate courts. On my YouTube channel, you can see some of the oral arguments I've been honored to do on behalf of officers. We had an officer charged or fired. The charges were dismissed criminally. They didn't charge him, but he was fired and dealt with a termination when he shot and killed somebody who was trying to kill him. So they're long-standing, but over and above, we see the courts actually doing the right thing. The problem is, though, Louis, that path, as I told you, we have one officer I represent who's been dealing with this for 10 years. That path is devastating financially, morally, socially, ethically. As Mike said, you know, people being ostracized, their kids can't go to school. But that's one of the things you mentioned. The Fraternal Order of Police has an outstanding legal defense program that they can join and not have to worry about mortgaging their house to stay out of prison.
Give the website and the YouTube channel, Lance.
So the YouTube channel, you just go to YouTube and search for Lance Lorusso, and Blue Line Lawyer is the website for me. And then just Google FOP, the National Fraternal Order of Police, is an outstanding organization. And the legal defense plan, if you're in law enforcement and you don't have the FOP legal defense plan, you really need to think about what you're doing to protect yourself.
Wow. You know, you put a lot on the table, a lot to think about. And some of the stories you mentioned are just, it's hard to believe. It really is. I know it's hard to believe. I know the 14th Amendment kind of protects people, like a felon can hold office. I get that. Somebody accused of being a felon. The 14th Amendment, the only thing that they can get you on is treason or a revolution or something like that, where you cannot hold office. Correct, Lance?
It depends generally on the jurisdiction, and you know, some of them have no prohibition to you having any felony to be able to hold office, and then others,
okay,
they say you can't. So it's what's really interesting. we have licensed professionals that can't get their license from the state if they have a prior felony, but we will elect someone to a state office with millions of dollars of budget that they can take care of. I mean, it's almost like a Saturday Night Live skit. I mean, you sometimes you just have to laugh.
Lance, I'm up against the break, but again, I want to thank you so much for coming on. You're a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
I'm glad I had an opportunity in Louis to chat with you.
Same
And you bring a lot to the table. And, you know, police officers are very lucky to have somebody like you watching their back. Thank you very much.
I can say the same. You've advocated for them a lot, and I can tell you it means a lot to them. Thank you so much.
Have a happy Father's Day. Enjoy. Thank
Have
you.
a great one.
Louis, why don't you take us out to break?
Investor of You, Me, and Sicily. I want to talk to you about Tommy Amin and the great staff at Butcher Boy Market. Families, foodies, and home chefs come together at Butcher Boy to talk good food and create traditions. They offer the best in quality cuts of beef, pork, lamb, poultry, and restaurant-style steaks and chops. Produce? All of their produce is hand-selected to complement any meal or even to make it your main course. Their deli serves fresh roast beef, turkey, and beautiful imported Italian cold cuts, cheeses, and antipasto. And don't forget the Butcher Boy Bakery, featuring sweet delectables from all over the state, as well as their very own bakery. That's Butcher Boy, where the secret to a great steak is, of course, the steak. Located at 1077 Osgood Street in North Andover, Massachusetts, in the Butcher Boy Plaza. Ciao.
Legacy Care Law Firm provides estate planning and elder law services to people in the greater Merrimack Valley and southern New Hampshire areas with offices in North Andover and Woburn, Massachusetts, as well as Nashua and Salem, New Hampshire. Discussing family and financial matters with an attorney can be intimidating, but our goal is to help you prepare for the future as you preserve your legacy. We help clients qualify for government medical benefits and ensure their estates are preserved for their families so they don't need to worry about their estate being wiped out by high nursing home expenses. Legacy Care Law Firm attorneys are here to support your journey toward a more secure financial future.
This is Tom Zappala. Located in the heart of downtown Haverhill, the Haverhill Beef Company is a full-service, old-fashioned butcher shop and meat market that continues to be a valued family tradition since 1952. Peter and Monica Carboni's Haverhill Beef offers individualized service from an outstanding selection of marinated sirloin tips, homemade sausage, marinated chicken, and thick, juicy Chairman Reserve steaks. Your family deserves the best, so call Peter at 978-374-4795 or visit their website at www.haverhillbeef.com.
At Catadella Funeral Home, we reinvest in our business to provide your family with the best facilities. It begins with a beautifully landscaped exterior, parking for 250 vehicles, and a comfortable and inviting access to our renovated interior. Funerals can be costly, so you should review and compare plans to make sure you receive services that are fairly priced. I invite you to experience the Catadella difference in cost, facility, and service.
Catadella's honoring and celebrating the lives of the people we loved, providing exceptional care since 1929.
Italian artisan cuisine combines simple, fresh ingredients with time-honored preparation to create an incredible culinary experience. At Tuscan Kitchen, located in Salem's historic Depot District, talented chefs prepare everything in-house from scratch for all to see. Guests enjoy their meal literally in our kitchen as food is prepared right in front of you. Wood ovens burn from morning till night, roasting vegetables, baking bread, and firing delightful thin crust pizzas. Prime steaks are seared on a wood grill. A rotisserie slowly roasts marinated whole chickens and lamb, while a pasta maker creates fresh fettuccine. More than just artisan cuisine. Tuscan Kitchen features the wine bar, live entertainment, weekly wine tastings, and elegant private dining and event space. Call 603-952-4875. or visit TuscanKitchen.com to make a reservation and learn more about the culinary adventure that awaits. In Italy, cooking is an art form. Tuscan Kitchen. Experience artisan Italian.
Play more, earn more, win more at Encore Boston Harbor. Sign up for Win Rewards today and score $50 in free play instantly. Score even more as you play your favorite games. New members will also receive $25 in free play for every 100 tier credits earned playing with your new Win Rewards card. Highly rewarding instantly. Visit EncoreBostonHarbor.com for more information. New members only. Further terms and conditions apply. If you or a loved one is experiencing problems with gambling and needs support, call 800-327-5050 or visit gamblinghelplinema.org to speak with a trained specialist. Specialists are available 24/7 and services are free, confidential, and available in multiple languages.
This is Cindy.
And Mike Kunstler.
Owners and operators of Four Oaks Country Club and Grazie Italian Restaurant in Drake, Massachusetts.
Grazie Italian Restaurant is the hidden gem of the Merrimack Valley.
Why is that?
We have an incredible chef, Oscar Figueroa.
In the words of local famous chef and restaurant owner Lydia Shire,
Oscar thrives on hard work.
he is capable and gifted.
No one makes better food. Scallops, see it to perfection.
House-made ravioli with farm-fresh local corn.
And buttery, tender, lazy man's lobster, just to name a few.
You have to come experience Grazie Italian Restaurant for yourself.
Grazie Italian Restaurant, located at Four Oaks Country Club, 80 Meadow Creek Drive in Drake, Massachusetts. Hope to see you soon.
Hello, this is Rico Petroselli. Now it's time for Mikey Screwouts. Time for Mikey. Oh,
Hold on. Take two.
Hello, this is Rico Petroselli. Now it's time for Mikey. Tell us more.
I think, thank you. I think I have to say thank you to Rico for that. I'm not 100% sure. Today, on our Mikey Tell Us More segment, I thought that something we'd like to talk about, taps. And most of you have been to a military funeral, and you know how emotional hearing that bugle, how it puts a lump in your throat. And I thought today I would like to tell a story behind the song. And we're going to go back to 1862, Lewis, during the Civil War, when the Union Army captain Robert Ellicombe was with his men near Harrison's Landing in Virginia. The Confederate Army was on one side of this narrow strip of property and land that they were trying to take over, and on the other side, there was the Union Confederate side. There was the Union on one side, Confederates on the other side, on a small piece of land. During the night, Captain Elcombe heard the moan of a soldier who lay severely wounded on the field, not knowing if he was a Union or a Confederate soldier. The captain decided to risk his life and bring the stricken man back for medical attention. He crawled on his stomach through the gunfire that night. The captain reached the stricken soldier and began pulling him toward his own encampment. When the captain finally reached his own lines, he discovered it was actually a Confederate soldier. But the soldier, unfortunately, was dead. The captain lit a lantern, and he suddenly went numb with shock. In the dim light, he saw the face of the soldier. It was his own son.
Oh, my God.
His own son. Can you imagine?
That's wild.
The boy had been studying music in the South when the war broke out. Without telling his father, he enlisted in the Confederate Army.
Oh, my God.
The following morning, heartbroken,
what are the odds?
The father asked permission of his superiors to give his son a military funeral. His request was only partially granted. The captain had asked if he could have a group of the band, the Army band, play for his son at the funeral. The request was naturally turned down since the soldier was a Confederate. But out of respect, Lou, for the father, they did say that they could give him only one musician. And the captain, he chose a bugler. He asked the bugler to play a series of musical notes that he had found in his son's pocket, a piece of paper in the pocket of his son's uniform. This was granted. The haunting melody we now know as taps used at military funerals was born. And there are words to it.
Are there?
And the words go something like this. Day is done, gone the sun from the lakes, from the hills, from the sky, all is well. God is nigh. Fading light dims the sight, and a star gems the skies, gleaming bright from afar. Drawing nigh falls the night. Thanks and praise for our days neath the sun, neath the stars, neath the sky. As we go, this we know God is nigh. Those are the words to the sound of tap. And I'll tell you, I don't think there's anything more touching, especially if it's a dreary day, like it's cloudy and, you know, and you have someone out there that can play the bugle and play taps. Not the electric versions that they're doing more and more now, but to play it. And I just found this to be an extremely interesting story behind how taps was formed. And I tip my hat to Sam Poulton, who owns WCAP, who has our show airing right now. Sam retired a lieutenant colonel, and he does a lot of military funerals. He goes around and he volunteers, and he goes and he plays live taps, not the recorded taps.
Now,
and he does a fantastic job on it. I give Sam so much credit. It's so touching to me to hear it. And I had the pleasure of being with Sam when we were in the Army Reserves. I was his drill instructor before he went to basic training. And to see him stay in all these years, make it up to lieutenant colonel. And he got called to active duty quite a few times in those years. But boy, I tell you, the man can play a fantastic bugle. Just absolutely fantastic. So I hope you guys enjoyed that today. That's our Mikey Tell Us More segment. And next week, we'll have something else in store for you. And speaking of next week, guess who's coming in? And I don't think he's coming in empty-handed either.
Al
Letizio.
Yeah.
I can't wait to sit down with him. We have a big event happening in the town of Wyndham, and the governor's going to be there in celebration of 250th anniversary, but it's also Wyndham Town Days. And there's a beautiful park that's going to be dedicated by our governor. And you should see the work that's going on. I had a meeting this week, and boy, I'll tell you, things are moving along. There's going to be trucks there for food. There's going to be some marching bands. I mean, it's going to be done right, and we're looking forward to it. And that's on the 28th of June, I believe. It's on the last Sunday of the month. And we're going to be emceeing the event, yours truly, which is exciting for me.
Nice.
Because it's a little out of my comfort zone, and I like doing stuff like that. But there should be a good crowd. You should see this park they're doing. They're dedicating Indian rock, and it's like a coliseum. You should see the pieces of granite that they've put in place. It's an amazing, like an amphitheater, Louis, in a semicircle. It's hot. It's just, you have to see it. I give everybody in the town of Wyndham a lot of credit putting something like this together. And anywho, we got a lot going on, but we're almost out of time. I just want to wish that everybody a fantastic happy Father's Day. And do you have any plans? Are you working, Lou, on Father's Day?
I'm working Father's Day, but Monday we'll celebrate Father's Day.
Okay. What do you got any ideas?
No, I'm leaving it up to them.
You're going to be spoiled rotten?
I don't know. I'll leave it up to them.
Really? You have no clue?
Nope.
You know, I never had children, and but I've had quite a few godchildren.
Yeah.
And you know, to me, they're like my kids.
Yep.
And when they do well, I'm so proud of it. So I can understand what it's like to be a father.
Oh yeah, it's great.
And you know something, Mother's Day, Father's Day. I was thinking about my dad this morning driving down here, and he was my best friend. I miss him dearly. I drove him crazy. I drove my parents nutty because I was always in trouble. And you know something, they were so understanding. And you know something, I didn't go to prison. I didn't go to jail. I'm still here. I didn't hurt anybody.
Yep.
But like I said, Lou, happy Father's
Thank
Day
you.
to you.
Thank you. You too.
And just to our listeners, we've had a little bit of a problem with our equipment the last couple of weeks. And Louis has been doing, if you have to see him manipulate and to get this show to air half decent.
We're getting it
And
done.
I tip my hat to you and your knowledge for that. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Next week, Al Letizio's in the studio. I hope you can join us. Take care. Have a wonderful weekend.